So you've fallen out of love with making beats. You've been doing it for quite a long time, and for some reason, right now in this season, you're hitting a low point. Well, today I'm gonna be reacting to a video by Lollipop Beats talking about falling out of love with making music. We've all been there, I've been there. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out this video, add my 2 cents to it, so that way you walk away with double the value. You ready? Let's get into it.
Hey guys, long time no see. I think it's been about a month since I've last filmed, which is the longest in a while because I always try and be as consistent as I can. But before I post another video, I just wanted to make this video and be completely honest with you, because sometimes I don't feel like I have the chance to actually speak to you properly because I'm just focused on making the beat, or I know most of you guys click on the videos to watch me make beats and potentially learn something, or I don't know, maybe you just enjoy watching me, I don't know. But for the minute amount of you that probably do care about more of the personal stuff, I just felt like I wanted to be open and just talk and kind of it be a bit therapeutic for me. I've just been in a bit of a weird time kind of this whole year. But obviously you just keep going and keep going. That's all I try to do anyway, and that's all you can do. This is my job. I do it full time. I'm extremely blessed to do it full time. I've just been struggling. I don't know what happened or why. Sometimes I'm quite up and down anyway, but I just have kind of lost the love for making beats. Like, I enjoy the whole process more at the moment than actually making the music itself. And I've been kind of taking a break on and off, but not really. It's never really a break, so it's on my mind 24/7. People have said take a break and switch genres, and I don't really know what the solution is at the moment. I've taken a break from filming because it just didn't feel natural for me when I wasn't enjoying making beats.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I'm hearing here. It sounds like there's a bit of a struggle on balancing multiple hats and having multiple tasks to handle all at once. There's the content creation, there's the music business, there's the dealing with recording artists possibly, personal life. All these different things are occurring, and this is possibly creating some type of drain and causing a lack of focus. And in that, there can be this situation where you feel like you're overwhelmed and you kind of just need to push things back so you can have space to recalibrate what you essentially want to do. And with that, it can feel like there's a weight on your chest and you don't quite know where to go and what to do. And in these situations, it's good to remember that anything and everything that we do in life is still a relationship. So you have a relationship with music, you have a relationship with content creation, you have a relationship with your fans, you have a relationship with the music business, people that you're working with to facilitate the placements and things of that nature. And with balancing these multiple relationships, there can be that natural drain, like she mentioned, in that feeling of falling out of love, as what happens in any type of relationship. So with that, sometimes it is important to take a break so that way you can start to miss things. You can miss the beat making process. You can miss the content creation process. You need space so you can have the opportunity to miss something, so you can come back with essentially your battery recharged and you're totally filled up and you're ready to get back in there and conquer the world. But if you kind of try to attack everything all at once, there can be that fatigue that comes in. It's essentially like having a water hose and trying to spray that water hose in multiple buckets. There's the gallon of water, there's this big case of water that has its natural limitations, and you're essentially trying to spray all this energy in these multiple buckets, and it can be challenging. So in this situation, it's important to at least try to have some type of team to help you to lighten the load on things that can be done by other people. A lot of times as, producers, content creators, we feel like we need to wear all the hats and handle everything ourselves, so we have a sense of total control. But there are areas where if people can't notice that you've offloaded something and you've delegated it to someone else, then if you have the ability to do so, you have someone trustworthy who you can give that to, and definitely give that to them. Hire people so that way you're able to hold on to the energy that other people can't really replicate, like you showing up on the camera, you cooking up your style of beats. So don't always feel like you need to handle everything yourself. yourself as one person. It's important to delegate things to other people that can be delegated. And also remember that things are relationships. And sometimes you need a quick break just to, go on vacation, listen to music, hang out with your friends and family, just recharge. We're all human beings. We all have our natural limitations. And it's important to always remember that.
It's actually way harder even making beats on camera, let alone off camera, just with the pressure of trying to make a good beat. Like, I kind of hide a lot of my emotions when I do these videos, because why would I start talking in the middle of a beat making video about how I'm feeling? It's kind of not the point. But I just struggle with like making beats. It might not look it. Again, it's the power of social media and editing. Thank God for editing. Oh my God, if you actually saw the process sometimes of, like, it's mostly me when I'm putting it on myself. It's extremely negative, and a lot of you can relate to having beat block, and this is my job, I want to make these videos for you guys. I want you to enjoy them. I want you to get inspired by them. It's just a lot of pressure, and it's getting worse and worse. Like, you just get so wrapped up in views and numbers and basing kind of your success around that. And it's very demotivating, especially you might think, oh, but I get views and this and that. But I was grinding for a long, long time before I got any numbers, or I still feel like I'm no different from that time. But obviously I have worked up to this point. Like, I've posted over 1,000 beats. Don't think I've just done this overnight. You can't always have videos that do amazing, and it's all based on the algorithm as well. It's literally, your fate is in the hands of the algorithm if the algorithm chooses to like you or not.
Yes, this gets into just different things that I've noticed since I've started creating content. There's definitely a lot of different pressures that comes along with this. There's the comparison. There's the, why am I not getting as many views as that person? I've been grinding harder. I've been grinding for longer. This person has a whole lot of views and I don't. There's the self-doubt. There's the, am I going in the right path? Do I need to possibly stop? Do I need to totally change my strategy? So content creation in itself is a total mental game and psychological game and pressure in itself. Along with, of course, the music creation process, which is its own psychological pressures. Content creation is simple, but it's challenging. It's simple in what you need to do, but it's challenging in keeping it up, showing up consistently, showing up when you don't feel like it, doing live streams when something else that you really need to handle, but you've made this promise to people, to your support base, and you need to continue to show up. So all these different factors can weigh on you psychologically. So it can start to take its toll eventually if you start to fall into different traps. So when it comes to that, I always go back to the basics. Why did I start doing this? What's your why? What's your underlying motivation for doing what you're doing? What kind of validation do you get from doing this? For me, it's people, showing up to my Heat Check live beat review show consistently. That's a big motivator for me. People buying different products for my website. That's also a big motivator for me. It's just not in the money in itself. It's just that people find what I'm doing so valuable that they're willing to exchange the money that they've worked hard for to get something that I've created with my own mind. Comments, positive comments, likes, subscribes, all these different things get back to my underlying why on what I'm doing. But it's easy to fall into those traps of just looking around, feeling the pressure of the algorithm, things changing constantly, not knowing if your videos are going to be pushed by the algorithm. That's why for producers, all the producers out there who are watching this video, please make sure that you're doing some type of email collection as you're growing as a content creator. Please make sure that you consistently collect email addresses and to stay in contact with people, because you never quite know when things might change or shut down, or, you get canceled or whatever. Something happens where you're not being pushed by the algorithm. You don't want everything to be totally dependent on that, to where one little change by somebody in an office somewhere totally decimates your income stream. And for what I've seen other people in other niches in YouTube, that's happened. And now they're playing catch up when it comes to email collection, because that's something that they never thought of in the beginning. So make sure you guys do that. It's relatively easy. Just give the people a freebie that they find valuable, whether it's free loops, free guides, whatever. Put that out there so people willingly give you their email address in exchange for the free thing. Super simple. And then just consistently send emails, whether it's once a week, every other week, once a month, whatever cadence that you choose to do. Make sure you stay with it consistently, so that way they know once they receive an email from you, it's not for you to extract money for them. It's for you to give value. And as you keep giving value, eventually you may ask for a sale in the process. So you're planting seeds, you're watering, and eventually you'll start to see the fruit start to sprout with that email collection, and people will start buying eventually. But please don't be totally dependent on the algorithm. It's not really too conducive to your mental health and mental well-being. Let's make sure we're staying in contact with our supporters behind the scenes and using these social media platforms as a front end to get in contact with our supporters.
Because there's some people that do crazy content, so high quality, the beats are crazy, but the algorithm just isn't letting them shine. Honestly, just wanted to be more open with you guys because I do want to switch up the content. I'm not sure what that is at the moment. I'm just trying to find myself and kind of reflect on what I want to do, what I enjoy most, because as I said, I enjoy the whole process. Really, because I'm so isolated in my room and I've always been quite like a person that I keep to myself. I don't quite realise or even think of the scale that it's got to and the amount of people that are seeing it. If I picture 50 people watching my videos, I'd be like, oh my God. Honestly, these numbers that I see, I cannot comprehend. Like, I can't explain the feeling, and it's really overwhelming. Like, I don't know why I feel a bit emotional now. Like, it's amazing, don't get me wrong. Honestly, I'm kind of like reflecting now and realising the scale that it's got to, because you can get really wrapped up in the numbers and you just see these numbers on the screen, but you don't actually like picture that it's real people.
All these numbers that we see on our videos are real human beings, real people actually checking out the content that we're creating. So if you're a content creator, you're a producer, you only see 30 views or 20 views or 15 views, you have to think that's 30 people, 15 people, unless people are watching things repeatedly. And of course, you know, your friends and family, they kind of want to sneak and see what you're doing. Account for those. But outside of those people, these are real producers out there around the world who find your content valuable enough to actually watch and eventually subscribe to. So sometimes when I take a look at my numbers, I'm not a real big content creator here on YouTube, but sometimes I look at like my shorts numbers, I look at my analytics on the back end. I'm like, wow, all these people are watching this video for this long and it's consistent. They're watching it, you know, all the way to this point. Like, people are really engaged watching my content, and you know, that's a big deal. You know, there's a lot of things that they could be watching on YouTube, but instead they're spending their time with me, watching my content, watching my videos. They're finding value in it, so that motivates me to keep going. If I was in just a conference room and 18 people showed up to hear me speak or talk about music production, that would be extremely flattering, right? But since I'm seeing it right here on YouTube and it's just always just the number, like she mentioned, it's easy to just dismiss it. Like, well, that person has 80,000 views, that person has 100,000 views. It's easy to write off maybe the couple hundred views or the couple thousand views that you may get, but you have to really think about it. These are real people around the world who are consuming your content, and that number is very high. So don't minimize it, especially by contrasting it to other content creators, maybe even other content creators in the music production niche. Be appreciative of it, be grateful for it, and just remember, you're here to serve these people. Be consistent, show up for them, and don't undermine them by comparing your numbers to someone else's. These people are finding you valuable. You need to consistently show up for them, work through whatever you need to work through, and please be strong for the community that's looking forward to seeing your content.
People like coming up to me in public and recognizing me, it's bizarre. I will never get over the feeling of that. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Even at my local train station, just waiting for a train, and someone's like, oh, you that producer. But a lot of it is overwhelming, especially for someone like me. I don't know if I come across confident. I definitely have improved confidence-wise so much just by doing these videos. You know, I'm in my room right now by myself. I do most stuff from my room. I go on these trips to America occasionally, but really, deep down, I've always been very scared. I don't know if scared's the word, but it's like, I just find it overwhelming. But that is kind of the luxury that I don't have to step foot outside my room. For me on this channel, I do want to be real, and I do want people to kind of find me more relatable than maybe some other producers. I mean, shout out to all the producers that make content, amazing content. I've learned through watching all of them, that's how I learned to make beats. I didn't have anyone here to help me. I do want to do stuff aside from just watch me make a beat. You know, I want to make it more entertaining. I'm just a bit lost, and kind of just reflecting, as I was saying, and just kind of realising the scale that it's got to. Like, even I was with my friend and she said how many followers I have on TikTok, which is over 500,000. I'm like, no, there's no way that's real. Like, subscribers, I'm currently at 133,000 and something. Like, I still feel like I've just started. I mean, I'm like 5.5 years in, and I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to be in the position that I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, because this is all I've ever wanted, and I'm kind of just frustrated that I've lost the love for making beats, which is kind of the thing that makes, you know, all the content kind of is based around that. I don't want to be fake. I find it really hard to be fake and turn on the camera, and, you know, I still struggle turning on the camera and being confident, and like, I never expected that I'd be able to get to this point or any point other from it being a hobby. But I don't know, I'm just in a bit of a weird position.
You know, when I hear this, I hear overwhelm. You know, there's a saying that the man who chases two rabbits catches none. So I hear the chasing of multiple rabbits, so to speak, and that's causing mental exhaustion. 1, and 2, the realization that the thing that you've always wanted, the thing that you've actually always chased after, is starting to come into fruition. And for some people, they actually start to push it totally away because they're used to being the underdog, they're used to grinding, and they're used to people undermining them. That state, they're comfortable in that state. So whenever they start to elevate past that state, it could be uncomfortable. So success can feel uncomfortable to people sometimes, unfortunately, because you're used to consistently pushing against something, and that pushing against something, that resistance is a space that makes you feel like you're growing and you're elevating. Well, once you actually do elevate and you're in this new space, you're in this new zone, it can feel like a fish out of water. Like, okay, I'm finally here. Oh, you know, I finally got my placements. Oh, I'm finally on, you know, this website, and these people are giving me an interview. This feels uncomfortable. So, you know, there can be those elements of like a success depression that can hit people sometimes. Unfortunately, some people unfortunately start to really crash out. Some people push the success away and try to subconsciously work their way back down to the underdog position. So with that, it's important to have a support system around you that can help level set you. Different people that you can speak to, maybe even like a mentor or an OG, or maybe someone who's been doing this for a while who you've consulted with before in the past. And fortunately, we have the internet where we can, you know, reach out to different people and book different coaching calls and things of that nature where we can vent, and then they can reach back and say, hey, I was there back in the 90s, or I was there back in the 2000s when I finally got my placement with this person, and then I started to feel down and I didn't really know what to do. So this is what I did. So it's good to have a support system of people who you can, you know, lean on, whether they be your peers. Then it's also important to have OGs, to have mentors who can also relate to you. So that way you don't feel like you're in total isolation. Your thoughts don't get the best of you, where you start to subconsciously work your way back down to a lower position. These are things that happen to recording artists, to producers, to content creators. Eventually they just want to blow the whole system up because they're overwhelmed and they're in an uncomfortable space. So always remember that your situation isn't as unique as you think it is. There's always some people out there that can help you, but in order to help you, you have to speak up and let it be known that you do need help, because you never know who's gonna volunteer, reach their hand up and say, I know exactly what you're going through, and this is how I fix the situation. All right, so that's it. Producers out there, let me know what you think. You know, what do you do when you run into ruts, when you run into beat block, when you run into emotional exhaustion? How do you pull yourself, and how do you revitalize yourself and charge yourself up to show up as the best version of yourself? And also, if you create content, how do you do that as well? You know, being on camera isn't an easy thing for a lot of people. It's something I've had to get adjusted to because I'm used to playing the background, but here we are creating content in this new era. And you know, here I am, something I had to get used to. I'm getting comfortable, more and more comfortable with it day by day. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'm Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond A.